Good morning, everybody. It's Jen again, and we are trying car vlogs this morning. I've been testing out a microphone and stuff to make the sound better because this vehicle is quite a bit louder than my last vehicle, and I just wasn't happy with how the sound was and everything. And it'll be a good test of my patience to see how much I yell at the other drivers. And a good test because my air is really on high this morning. Well, my defrost, because it's 20 degrees according to my vehicle, and the first day of spring is next week. I protest. I was going to be early for work today, and my car was one big icicle, and it was that ice where it's like super cold and you really have to put your gusto behind scraping it off. And it just, I don't know, I don't park my car in a garage. It just sits in the driveway, and my neighborhood's really rough, so I'm not about to just leave my car out there running. So it just is what it is, right? But so we just get out there and start it running and scrape it, and such is life. Gosh, though, my hands are cold. I thought we were over this. We had some beautiful weather a couple weeks ago. It was in the 80s and things, but we'll see now. I'm just going to get there when I get there. Depends on how many slow pokes I get behind, I reckon. It's not looking good. I thought I would have a better chance because school's out this week, so I don't have to deal with the parent traffic because I go through quite a few school zones. But no such luck. Apparently there are other groups of slow pokes other than the school crowd. So anyway, whole nother story, whole nother day. I just want to get on here and chat with y'all a little bit about just something like I've talked about. I've wanted to talk about all right, good morning. But my experience with losing weight and everything, and the mental aspects of it, and things that have happened that I didn't expect. So I feel like as somebody whose default was morbidly obese, which just very briefly, I was morbidly obese. I'm 37, morbidly obese for like 35 of those years, and probably close to 30 of those years I was over 300 pounds. So I got experience being obese. This is like new territory for me, just being in an overweight BMI range, and I'm not too far from regular weight, so that's pretty cool. I have no idea how far I'll get, but I don't know. Oh, my patience is being tried this morning, y'all. I am behind somebody who is going 10 under the speed limit, but we are going to keep a smile on, and the moment the road splits off, we are going to leave him in the dust. But whole nother story, whole nother day. Some of us got to get to work, sir or ma'am. I don't know. But anyway, so just talking about my experience with that, things I didn't expect, because, we all hear the narrative from the fitness industry / I guess nowadays influencers, this, that, and the other one tell us, and I just found that a lot of the things just weren't to my experience, and I think a lot of it is people that's their default was regular weight, and they're trying to use that as a comparison to someone who's morbidly obese, and it's just a whole different experience, the whole mental part of it, whatever. So what I wanted to talk at y'all briefly about this morning is something that has kind of blown my mind. I didn't expect. So at my biggest, I'm sure some of y'all can relate, I was always thinking people were judging me about every little thing. If I was going to eat something, they're judging me, big girl eating this. If I was, oh my gosh, and I still find myself doing this to this day. If you're walking up the stairs past somebody, or like I go do daily walks at the park at lunch, and I am booking it because I'm trying to, I try to get as many miles in as I can in the little period of time that I have. And I'm breathing hard, and I pass somebody, and I'm holding my breath, and I'm like, please don't stop talking to me. Please don't stop talking to me. And I'm holding my breath. And when I was big, sometimes I'd hold my breath. I'd get like lightheaded, but I didn't want them to know that I was breathing hard, you know. Or when you have to get to places early so you can duck in the restroom so you kind of catch your breath and come out so nobody knows that you about winded yourself going up the stairs. Just little things like that. Like I thought people were looking at me, how my, you know, clothes were clinging in all the places you don't want clothes to cling to. And y'all know. It just constantly thinking about people were looking at you and making judgments and assumptions and all this other stuff, and all that part of the anxiety that comes with being morbidly obese. And what I have found surprising is that I am actually scrutinized and picked apart more now, and very openly. Like what I eat, what workouts I'm doing. Like everybody has an opinion about what I've done, what I'm doing, and people can get quite snarky about it. And since it feels like since I make good choices, and I've done it for a very long time now, a little over 2 years this last bunch, which I hesitate to say that because if you've been morbidly obese for as long as I had, you've tried about every diet in the book. But the fitness and health industry is not set up for you to have prolonged success because they make more money if you're in a constant yo-yo. But again, that's a whole nother video for a whole nother day. They want you to have just enough success to where you think this product, this whatever works, and then you'll fall back. And then when you feel like getting on it again, you'll go back to that product. But whole nother story, whole nother day. So this is something I find strange, like, and it's stuck in my craw because last Friday for work, we had a new employee who his training was finishing at our location. So it was his last day with us for this part of training. And so the company bought us all lunch. We went to this local place, and you know, at work, they're super nice. Like, they usually pick places that have healthy options or whatever. And I just keep telling them, like, don't you worry a bit about me. I will find something on there. And if not, I always have food. I always have, I bring food every single day regardless, because I never want to be caught out like that. And I live in a really tiny little area. And we don't have fancy grocery stores and fancy choices and things. So, I don't know. I carry like 3 tote bags into work. Like, I move in every day. But they had their special, and it's barbecue chicken. I thought, Lord, that sounds good. And I like to poke the bear every once in a while and eat something, you know, kind of more, I guess the word would be like mainstream, just to see how my body's handling it. Because I remember, you know, when I had really bad insulin resistance and all these other things, I mean, I could feel how things affected my body. And to see if it, you know, things set off my inflammation. I poke the bear every once in a while. And so I got a barbecue. It ended up being a bone-in, skin-on barbecue chicken breast. Baked barbecue chicken breast with some baked beans, mashed potatoes, and a corn muffin. It was really good. Now, it salted me to death. I'm not used to things being that salty, and I don't know what was in the sauce, whatever, but I enjoyed it. I ate it. We had a wonderful lunch. But there were all these comments made like, wow, I've never seen Jen eat real food. You're going to eat that, and you're not going to want to go back to that rabbit food. You're going to do this, and it's like other things are like people will make cakes for people's birthdays or bake brownies and things, and there's always a comment like, I'd offer you some, but I know it'd just go to waste. You're not going to eat it. And there's always like this well, not always, but sometimes there's just like snarky edge to it, and it just takes me aback sometimes. It's not as bad now as I would say when I was like halfway to losing it, and I especially got the most snark from type 2 diabetics, which the whole thing that prompted this is I found out my A1C was in the, you know, diabetic range, and there was no food on this earth that was worth me going through the complications of type 2 diabetes if I could help it. So that's a whole video for a whole nother day. There is no food that is more important than me keeping my foot. So, not to be harsh, but I've been around people and I've seen them go through the very bad complications of diabetes, and that is not something I want any part of. So a lot of what I was eating, especially at the beginning, was things that were not going to add to my diabetes, because once I knew I had that, and I had high blood pressure at the time, again, both has been in remission for over a year. I've not had to take any more medications or anything. You would just get all this stuff. Well, I don't know how you live like that. Ain't a person can live like that. That's miserable. Just comments on every little thing. And then here lately that I've really gotten into fitness and things, commenting. People that don't work out at all are coming up and commenting on any workouts I do. If I'm just not feeling the best that day, and instead of going to walk at lunch that day, I go and run errands. And, oh, you're missing your walking, huh? Like, it's so weird, and I think about it, and I guess it really gets to me, because, I mean, whatever, you can say whatever. I worked with the public for 20 years. There ain't a darn thing that can be said to me that ain't been said to my face that's worse. I've worked across 3 or 4 different industries with the public for, altogether about 20 years. I worked on the front line, so you can't shock me. But I'm back office now, thank the Lord. But what got me is, I'll be eating like a salad at lunch, or sometimes I'll bring oatmeal. I try to make something that's super quick that I can throw together in the morning and that I can eat at my desk while I'm working, so I can use my lunch break for walking. I'm very privileged to have a job that allows me to do that now. And this little comment, oh, eating that rabbit food. Oh, doing this. Oh, doing that. Oh, I would share some of this with you, but you probably wouldn't eat it. It's probably got something in there that you won't touch. It's just something like that. It's wild to me. But what really got me is I got to thinking about it. If I would have been back at my biggest, or that wasn't even my biggest was when I was in middle school, but that's a whole nother story, whole nother day. Very bad time in my life. If I would have been sitting there and I would have gone to lunch and got a Little Caesars pizza or something, and be sitting there scarfing a whole pizza, because, buddy, I could have done that, and a pack of crazy bread, no problem back in the day. Nobody would say a word. Now, you do get looks. That's another thing I've noticed. When you're bigger, people don't vocalize stuff out loud like they do now. Now people just feel comfortable picking me apart. It's wild. But they were judging me, but it was a lot more silent. You get the little looks, you get the little, y'all know, or the tone of voice. Those of y'all that have been big, people are a lot more subtle, I guess, about it, because it's seen as wrong to dig into a big person like that. But there's not anything wrong. It's just weird to me. It's just really weird to me. And I don't know why my camera just randomly cut off. So there's going to be a jump cut there, but whatever. But it's really weird to me, because I was thinking about that. If I was still really big, and still eating like my stress meals, we'll call them, or what have you, nobody would say a dang word. I don't know, the projection people have on you when you're trying to get healthy and stuff. It's something else. And I've even told them that sometimes when I get frustrated, I've told people, I'm like, if I was sitting here eating a Big Mac fries, or eating 20-piece McNugget, a large milkshake, a large fry, and a burger, that was one of my stress meals, nobody'd say a word. I might get a side eye or two, but I'm sitting here eating oatmeal, and there's comments made on it constantly. It's just wild to me. Or there's a whole video I need to make. People like, oh, you're eating real food. The fact that all these ultra processed packaged chemical things are seen as the real food is something that is just bizarre and not lost on me. But anyway, I got to get to it, y'all. I got to go in there and make some money because groceries are expensive and stuff's gone up, but wages haven't gone up. So I got to get in there and get my hours in. But yeah, thank y'all so much for watching. Hopefully this worked out, and I will see y'all soon with something else. You got any thoughts on this? I'd love to hear them. And yeah, I will see y'all soon, hopefully with something else. Bye, y'all.